More than 3,000 people died trying to reach Spain by sea in just 1 year. This is Kenya News Update today. Coming up, you'll discover the shocking truth behind these numbers and why this tragedy represents both a crisis and a controversial improvement. Meet the unnamed thousands. Fathers, mothers, children, dreaming of a better life across the Mediterranean. For them, the journey begins with hope and often ends in the cold, dark waters of the Atlantic. But here's the twist. This staggering death toll of 3,000 is actually a sharp drop from the previous year. That's right, it was even worse before. The route to Spain remains one of the world's deadliest migration paths. Desperate people cram into overcrowded, unseaworthy boats, paying smugglers their life savings for a chance at survival. They brave the treacherous crossing from West Africa, facing dehydration, starvation, and the relentless sea. And then, something shocking happens. Many disappear without a trace, becoming just another statistic in a growing humanitarian catastrophe. Here's the part that will blow your mind. Each number represents a human story cut short, a future erased, a family left wondering. The UN has repeatedly sounded the alarm, calling for safer pathways and international cooperation. But political tensions, border controls, and conflicting priorities often stall meaningful action. Some European nations tighten restrictions while others plead for compassion. The result? A deadly limbo where migrants become pawns in a geopolitical chess game. But here's what nobody's talking about. Behind every death is a root cause. Conflict in the Sahel, economic collapse, climate change destroying livelihoods. These aren't just migrants, they're refugees from multiple collapsing systems. They're fleeing what many experts call perfect storms of disaster. And then, the journey itself, days at sea with limited food and water, at the mercy of smugglers who abandon ship at the first sign of trouble. The Spanish Coast Guard and humanitarian groups work tirelessly, pulling survivors from the water, but often arriving too late. The Mediterranean has become a mass grave, a silent witness to our collective failure. Yet this drop in deaths presents a controversial question. Is it due to improved policies? Or simply fewer people attempting the crossing out of sheer terror? Some point to increased patrols and agreements with African nations. Others argue it's just luck, calmer seas, different smuggling routes. The truth is messy, uncomfortable, and politically charged. But if 3,000 deaths represents improvement, what does that say about our world? The implications are staggering. This isn't just a Spanish or African issue, it's a global crisis that tests our humanity. Families in Kenya, Nigeria, Senegal, and beyond wait for news that may never come. Communities are hollowed out, losing their youngest and most ambitious. And Europe faces an ethical dilemma: protect borders or protect lives. The controversy cuts deep. Some say strict policies deter dangerous journeys. Others call it a moral failure that sacrifices human beings on the altar of politics. The unanswered question haunts us all: what would you risk for a chance at safety? What desperation drives a person onto that boat? The 3,000 who died in 2025 made their choice. Their silence now speaks volumes. Do you think the world is doing enough to prevent these deaths? Or are we normalizing a tragedy that should shock our conscience? Drop your take in the comments. Subscribe to Kenya News Update today for more breaking news that challenges everything you think you know.